Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everyone. And today is May 10th, and we are here again by taking a one more video on the SPY analysis. So, if you look my previous video, I given some targets for the Friday, for the yesterday, but in yesterday trading, I mentioned in my video that if it's breakdown the if it's gap down, like if the market open as a gap down, and if it is goes to 560, you can look at the values here on the right side of the chart in this particular bar, right? And this is my, like this is the trend line I developed as the spy keep heading up down the gaps like this, right? So this particular trend line, like you can see, one, two, and three trend line I developed based on the based on 4 hours. If I show you a bigger time frame, right? Let me show you. Yeah. So these are necessary. I will tell you why in a minute. So these bigger time frame, like these bigger trend lines. So you can see the one, two, and three. Why I developed those, just to make sure that these are the market. It's I'm trying to capturing every move on 4 hours, and that's how the charting works. If you have to draw down your charts, right, you cannot miss a data. If you miss a data or a wick, then it will be very difficult, because you don't want any room or any kind of mistake while doing a charting on the spy. But anyway, let's not let's more focus more on the spy technical analysis for May. uh, Today is May 10th, but what's going to happen on Monday, which will be 12th, right? So let's start to assume what happened first. Just let's take a little bit, little bit analysis on Friday, what exactly they try to do, right? I was, very active on Friday, but I did not take even a single trade, and I will tell you the reason why. So look at the market structure itself on Friday. If I show you what exactly happened on Friday, so market opens right here at 4 a.m. and if you look at this small candle, right? Let me So this was the close of the market, right? And this is the open of the market. So look this gap in the market, right? If you look at this gap, let me get you a brush here. So there are certain gaps they try to maintain during the market and the pre-market session. So look at this gap, right? So when this market opens gap up, then usually on that day, right, what happened when the market opens during the normal trading hour, it try to fill that gap. It definitely comes down, and then it so if gap up or gap down, those gap must be filled in the market in the normal or regular trading hours. If those are not filled, then the market is really manipulative, right? So that was the reason, like that's hold me back on Friday to take any trade, because I knew they can just manipulate. And Friday, you know how it works. It's mostly a manipulation, most manipulative day, because Friday a lot of expiry every week. It's a weekly expiry, right? So weekly expiry they play dirty. So, but you should not be, get caught in those dirty moves, because they are big billionaires, they are millionaires. You come with a small capital. Suppose you think, okay, you have a 10,000, right? And you think, I have 10,000, I will just put 10,000 in one trade, make a money, and then I will just run away. No, if you come with this thinking, what they're gonna do in just one candle they can just trash your entire account, and you don't want that. So Let me show you a move they took on Friday. Let's see. So in the pre-market, they started with the gap up opens, right? Look at the pre-market trading sessions. So couple of candles they made, they shows that the buyers are coming, and they started to test. So they started test in the pre-market. They started test like where the selling occurred a day before, right? Here the selling occurred on Thursday, right? And if I draw a one line here, the same thing they did on Friday. So they try to, the bears try to check, the bulls try to check in the pre-market trading session up to where they can take the market. Look at this wick, and this is what I'm saying, that this trend line is coming from the previous day, right? And that's the reason I develop it, because what happened, the previous day trend lines always help me identify the market, and in advance. So this is what I was expecting, that market might see a resistance from the previous day trade line, which it did here, right? So so this is the reason, like I was sure that they're gonna do some manipulation move. But then that is the thing I hold me back. This particular candle, the wick, the higher wick was like 567 and the lower wick was 564. That holds me back to take a trade on Fridays. And I will tell you the reason why in the end. So let's take a look what exactly they did. On this particular candle in the pre-market trading session at 7:15, they sure this showed me, like, like the market gonna be hold in this candle will be our range for the day, and breaking off this candle any side can give us opportunity, right? So if I look at the market opens, and the 15-minute is a great time frame, like if you want to trade, that I would always recommend to do a trade with the 15 minutes candles, because 1 minute is too much noise, right? And 15 minutes, then break it to 5 minutes, then the 5 minutes you can look at 1 minute, like buyers and sellers are coming or not. So keep your trading plan simple whenever you wanted to do a trade. Right now, look at SPY again. On Friday, what they did, the market opens, right? And they tried the same levels again, which was in the pre-market trading session. Look at this wick, and they couldn't cross 567. So this here it was sure that they're gonna do one more try. If they couldn't, if they couldn't cross this particular level and this trend line, right, it was coming from there, then definitely the market can see a good sell off and try to fill this gap, which was this, right? So, and this is the same thing happen, right? The market opens, market tried it best and it couldn't able to fill the gap. Let me just set it up, right? It couldn't, it tried to fill the gap here, and then once the gap is filled, then what happened, right? You can see right here, then it made a wick over 15 minutes, right? And then market says, okay, this is where I wanted to go. And then, like when the gap fills, the market always traded in the range where the gap filled. So look at this look at this these levels right here. So this week low was 564.70, and then this was 564.38. So entire day, if you look at this 15-minute, and this is the frustrated part of for any trader, right? If they wanted to trade, they want to trade some movements, right? And there was no movement. There was no movement in the market after that. So look at this. If you look at this particular level, right, the market tried to go up. However, it tried to took one more level tested a range of 562. So 560, this one tested, then 562 tested, market tries to go up. Again, the trend line coming from the top from the previous day. the market got rejected right here, right, which is a 565 level. So now, on the basis of this study, I will try to find out what they can do on, on our next trading sessions. So trading session is mostly depend, like, what's gonna happen. It's always depend on the previous days. So, and as I say, trend lines are important in the market. When you develop them, then develop them carefully. So I would just extend this particular trend line up to here, right? And now it's developed one more trend. It's tried. So on Friday, right, it traded between this area. Let me just put a small rectangle over here. So you see this blue line area, which I try to develop it for our convenience. Let's see this. It was only trading in this particular zone. So the level was 562 to 565. So only for $3. And those $3, right, even it was completely a sideways market. So always try to stay away, like whenever you see this kind of market, like a sideways, like a big move came in the beginning of the day, and then uh, you know um, whenever it try to come up, it goes down. So they try to chop and try to burn the premiums of your call or puts. When you say lotto, those lottos not gonna print in this kind of scenario, right? Now take a look on what it can do on Monday, right? So let's take a deeper look. So far I suggested, right, the small gaps has been filled, which was open on Monday, on Friday morning. Now look at, are there any other gaps pending, right? So this gap was pending, right? If you see the gap down, this was filled here. The gap up from here to here again, right? This gap up, and they try to fill it. Let me draw it. If I draw it down from here to here, 561 to 564. This gap, I cannot say this is a fill, but the good thing is it tried to make you like as a support right now, right? And I must say, you look at this huge candles came, like these are the bullish engulfing, one, two, and three. So three bullish huge candles. Let's see how many has been broken down already, right? So one of them has been eaten completely, done. Second one also done. They try to break the third one, right? So third one low was 562. However, they got rejected. The bears got rejected before that. So what happened? Like it comes down, they try to break it again one more time, and then they tested the lows of the days, and that is where they find some bulls, and they try to take the market up. But look at this structure right now. Higher. Let me make this structure for you. And this is important for the market. Like it should follow some pattern, which is a good thing. If it doesn't follow a pattern, then it's very difficult to trade anything, right? So look at this market structure now. So it tried to make the here it was like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. After this, look at the structure change. It goes sideways, right? And then if I compare this higher than this one, this is like higher low, right? And then if I compare this one with this one, then it's lower low, higher low, right? And then I'm expecting one move which couldn't be completed. stops right here. It tried to develop a trend here, but couldn't develop any trend at the end of the market. So I'm thinking one more lower low should come from here, which will be testing of these particular candle. Let me show you which candles I'm talking about. Right, so it tries to develop a structure higher high and higher low, but here in this day the structure changed from higher high to higher low, right? And that is where now we have to look what can be done. Okay, so this entire zone is acting as a support right now, because whenever they try to take it down, the consolidation occurs and it goes up. So the key level, what I can suggest right now, let's me write it down for you. So first, like I would say the major support is like 562, right? If it, like these wicks I'm considering, because these wicks are acting as a support right now. Look at these wicks, because you have a lot of support over here. If I just draw a simple horizontal line over here, or try to develop a small, let me just take a horizontal line, right? Look at this area and make that line as yellow. Now it's clear. So look at this area, particular area, how many times the bounce has come. That's important. And this was a resistance before for some of the areas, so it is always bouncing at 562 level. 562, right? So let's take a wick low. Let's see this one, right? Now it's clear. So this particular level, like between 561 to 562, that's the support will be again for Monday. So let me write down the range again. It takes time. It takes time. It's a process. It takes time to find out the right levels, right? You cannot just come and say, okay, this is gonna happen. No, you have to dig down a lot of things. You have to look at all the support zones, all the resistance in the past. But right now, what I can see is like, look, this particular zone. This is pretty much clear what's going on and what they are trying to do. So whenever this particular range develop between 561 to 560, right? Those will be your support levels. So all I can say is, when the market opens on Monday, look for these levels: 562 and 561. These are your two supports. Okay. So, and this is what I'm expecting. These two supports should be there for the day. So let's see. One thing we should notice that the market gonna gap up or market's gonna gap down, because I'm telling you one more scenario. Suppose if we break it down to 560, or this particular level, if we break it down 562 level, right? 562.54, there is a good gap over here. I can see this, you know, which has to be filled, and this is 10 points, right? So we can see a chop of 10 points if this particular trend line coming from the bottom, if this got break. Hopefully, if the market sustains, and try to reverse from 560 and 562 levels, then we can see another high we can see easily, right? So your target must be these particular zones. I don't think like market will go to this trend line, but if it comes to this trend line, then we can see more chop in the market, right? So the best level to play for the Monday would be the bigger levels, right? I must say I would wait for 560 for any calls, and for resistance we have already all-time high, right, which is 570, right? So on 570, like, I mean, do not buy, do not just immediately get into any call or puts whenever the market try to touch the resistance or the support, right? So again the levels would be same, the 560, right? 560 should be tested, right? The 560 must be tested. अगर टेस्ट नहीं होगा ना 560, if the 560 will not be tested, then do not buy any calls. If the 560 is tested and market try to goes up, if it is holding that support, then there is a good chances that market will see a new high. So again I must say that, and if the market breaks right here, write this, right, then you can see a new lows, right? These new lows I'm waiting for the market to take some actions here, and that will be your 550, right? So these are the key levels. Just keep it in your mind, very simple. The support at 560, the 560 support retested. If it is retested and it's above the EMA, if you look for some engulfing green bullish candles, then get into the call, and then your target will be 570, right? And yes, obviously this trend line must has to break in that session, this particular trend line. If it is breaking, just develop your trend line on 15 minutes by looking at the previous day highs. So I'm hoping the market will gap up, will open as gap up. So once it's open as gap up, then the market will open, will try to fill the gap in the morning hours, and then market will take a new leg up. This is how the market should go. The market opens as gap up probably here, right? Try to do the pre-market, some showing some bullishness in the pre-market, try to do break it, come back, retracement, another high, right? This is the scenario. If the market does not hold at this particular level, then it will test 560, right? If the market does not hold here, then it will come all the way down. And how it will gonna down, it will come back, retest it, retracement, and then go lower lows. So do not just jump immediately in anything, right? If the market following this kind of pattern, it's good. But the parabolic moves, if you try to capture, sometime you can be burned out easily, which you don't want in any kind of market. You have to save your portfolio, and that is very, very important when you trade any kind of options or any kind of calls, puts, whatever, right? So this is all I can say. And trade safe. The main thing what I can say about trading is your money. You have to save your capital until the end of the day. And why I am saying it, it is saying from experience, right? Because there are scenarios when I see a good pattern, and then I am at the end of the day, like I'm saying, like, okay, I don't have capital right now. So do not let put you in that situation. Always study the market, in the pre-market. What is it doing? What is the resistance? What is the support? Where it is being rejected? Always be very careful with the wicks. These wicks are very dangerous. These wicks are very, very dangerous, right? Always be careful with the wicks trading. So look for the wick where they are rejecting, and both side, just keep the levels, make your yellow notes, sticky notes with you, and do the trade. do the trade very, very carefully. This is all I can say in this sessions. However, for the trading strategy, I will try to develop a video which you guys can see probably in my next couple of videos. So I will add a session how we can trade this kind of spy sessions when it makes a huge moves top to down, right? Uh, but yes, for Monday, the levels would be 562 and 560 is the support. Let me write one more time. 560 support. If hold, then we can see 570. If 560 breaks, we can see all the way down to 550. All right, guys. So these will be the levels should play out for Tuesday. Sorry, Monday. However, we are expecting some news. If there is news, I'm hoping the market will open above 570, or like we'll test it these weeks. Three of them. So three levels: 568, 569, and 570. Those are on shorter time frame. I don't like them. But yes, these are your target: 560, 562 to 560 support and hold. We can see upside momentum to 570, right? Our previous high. If 560 break on the retracement, it will try to break 560, but it will be acting as a resistance, and then we can see a new lows which is 550. So, and 556 was a good support also. So these two levels not immediately come to 550, it will be 556 as well. So for Monday, major supports are these, right? If it's falling below, play accordingly, guys. All right, guys. So I try to dissect the SPY as much as I can on the basis of these candle and the chart flows. So let's see what's gonna bring on our table on Monday. So all I can say, trade safe, have your capital reserve at the end of the day, and this will help you in taking more good trades. All right, guys. Thank you.